So this is not an orientation session, okay? So this is an alignment session. So we talked earlier during your last on-site assessment. So I just talked something in Bengali at that time. Now I'm using English. So I'm not here to inspire you now with buzzwords. I'm here to tell you the reality. The reality is that how to survive, grow, and lead in the real world, especially when the AI is writing code much better than what human can do. So at this moment, if you think ourselves as a keyboard operator instead of the product owner, we'll be doomed. So what I mean by keyboard operator, like, I mean, you have been given some task, you just fill up the task, like, I mean, and you're done with that. If you follow that approach, I mean, you will be replaced because AI can do it much better and will do it much better than what you know and what you will be knowing in the future. So we are looking to install product-minded engineering concept in you, and today is your first day in your we call the term as Craftsmentee. So there's a concept called mentor and mentee. Since Craftsman has MEN at the end, so we call you guys as a Craftsmentee. And there will be a few Craftsmentor from our side. So maybe the term mentee may seem like a bit humiliating to you guys. Trust me, the Craftsmentor who will taught you things will be also like a mentees, because teaching is the best way to learn stuffs. Okay, and we'll teach you. We are not hiring like external staffs, like our engineers will be here, who probably were like Craftsmentees before. Now will be playing the role for Craftsmentor. So what is product-minded engineers? What is the concept of this thing? Like, what is the difference between an engineer and product-minded engineers? So, anyone?
Someone who takes ownership of the product instead of just following orders.
Ownership is a very good word to hear, but I mean, this is a very, very, very like big word. So what do you mean by ownership?
I mean, they take responsibility of designing or making decisions for the product rather than just following.
Yes, decision. What do you mean by the decision? What kind of decision?
The things that will improve the product or further enhance the product.
Improve in terms of like architecture, coding, practices, patterns?
In terms of customer or user?
Correct. Like the people who will understand the user pain. Because whatever we are developing, as a software engineer, we are actually solving people's problem. So if you do not understand the problems, or if you do not put our feet in their shoes and cannot understand their pain, we will not be able to give them the utmost comfort that we are supposed to give them. So this particular job or this particular profession is a bit different than other engineering profession. Why? Because this is related with service-oriented concept. In other engineering concept, like maybe if I take example for civil engineering or mechanical engineering, we have to devise some establishment or maybe some kind of, yeah, guys, you can come here. We can actually, I mean, as a mechanical engineer, suppose we want to create some structure for some buildings. And of course, that's meant to be used by humans. Of course, humans' comfort, other stuff is like related to there. But I mean, when they devise those kinds of engineering problems or solve those kinds of problems, I mean, what is an engineer? Can you tell me what is the definition of engineer? Of course, not bookish term. Like, what do you actually understand when you see an engineer?
to solve any problem.
Of course, but
Somebody who knows the what and why and how.
of course, yeah. Also, the mechanician knows these things. A doctor knows these things, right? Knows what, why, how to operate a patient, how to detect a disease. Then a doctor is an engineer.
Someone who actually create things, build things from ideas. Or
Yeah, but I mean, that can be an artist as well. What are you guys? What am I? What he is, what she is.
Craft a solution which is efficient and friendly to use.
Yeah, maybe,
Not an architect.
maybe, yeah. So, I mean, what I'm trying to say is that, I mean, like, there might be a good definition of engineering, but I don't know that. Trust me, I don't know that. But what I know, like, I mean, there's a significant difference between software engineering and the rest of the other engineering things, the faculties. Why? Because here we are directly dealing with human beings. And and if we do any kind of mistakes, it can cost lives as well. Like, have you ever heard about the problem related with the Boeing incident? Like, there was some bug in the code. The autopilot, when the flight was in autopilot mode, it was just going to dive. And we had some crashes, probably 2017, 18 or something like that at the time. Related with 737 MAX, right? I forgot the aircraft thing. 737 MAX, yeah. And why it happened? Because the corresponding engineer used a library, and in that library, there's some bug. And he selected that library, and probably, I mean, that engineer was located in our region, probably from Bangalore, India, in the same, like, holistic region. And when he wrote this code, he never actually thought about this thing, like it might cost lives. But it can happen, like, I mean, maybe out of passion, we created a library, maybe a library called sum. It takes two numbers and it gives an output, the summation of the two numbers. Maybe it doesn't, like, when you implemented that library, maybe it doesn't take, like, fractional numbers, maybe. And it only takes, like, the real integer. And when in the real time that library was being used, maybe the fraction matters, maybe it happens something like that. So whatever we are writing, whatever we are developing, it matters. And like doctors, our profession is also very important because we are dealing with real human beings' problem. Whenever you are working in any product, any features or any projects, trust me, it is someone else's problem that we are solving. But when we are solving, we think that we have to implement the best possible code, best possible design pattern, best possible architecture, best possible framework, latest and greatest programming languages. I'm not saying that using those things is a sin or crime, but please try to consider one more thing, that human beings is also involved there. And most of the times with the engineers, software engineers, we do not care about that. And that's a very important part. Clear? So generally what happens, like, I mean, we get a requirement, we implement it. We never challenge the requirement. Like, maybe the guy or the product owner who is giving the requirement, I mean, we are human beings and we have limitations. We are not like AI engines, like we have huge data of like memories, other stuffs stored somewhere else. So anyone can do mistakes. So do not like feel like shy, or do not feel any kind of obligation to challenge the requirement. If you think that there's a better alternative running in your mind, speak out. At words, people will say that, no, that will not work. But no one is going to kill you. But always we think that আমি তো ছোট মানুষ, কি দরকার বলা। Don't we? Okay? And we always we try to like we optimize for our cleverness or our intelligence, but we never optimize the impact. Maybe a suboptimal code can create more impact than an optimal code. So we have to judge that when and what is required. Where, I mean, over-engineering is not required. Maybe a simple line of, I mean, if you're solving a problem for 10%, you don't need to implement scaling and other stuff that is applicable for like millions of users. On the contrary, if you're developing something for millions of users, and if you implemented something for 2 people, if you test for only 2 people, this will not work. If you want to create a solution, maybe that should be applicable for any kind of videos, and if you test with only 1 or 2 videos, what will be the output? You'll miss all the edge cases, and that will make you what? Seem like a less optimal. Then like sometimes, or maybe most of the times, it depends on person to person, we live on like various kinds of opinions or assumptions, like maybe if I try in this way that will work, and based on that maybe it works in some cases, but most of the cases it doesn't work. But we believe on our assumptions, but we never challenge our assumptions. So if I like give an example, so sometimes we debug our code and we try to debug it blindly, like we're trying various things without thinking any kind of pattern, without thinking any kind of solutions, and sometimes randomly it works, and we think that since it's working, let's not touch it. Did it happen? Yes, yeah. So debug like a detective, not like a gambler. It's not a gambling. Like something will work, something will not work. Okay? And then the most important thing is that like we are afraid to like fail in life, right? Like, I mean, if you say that if something is broken, and if I say that it was due to my code or due to my responsibility, it feels like enormous awkwardness, like I'm the spoiled child in the room. I mean, the spoiled team members in the room. Believe me, I mean, like failure is part of the life, and you have to accept that. Okay. And system will fail, human will do mistakes, and this is normal. I mean, here it is completely normal to do mistakes. So we here follow blameless post-mortem. What is blameless post-mortem? Do you know the term post-mortem? Post-mortem? ময়না তদন্ত, মানুষ মারা গেলে বা খুন হলে পুলিশ কাটাকুটি করে বের করে, হ্যাঁ, something like that. So what is blameless post-mortem? I mean, things might break. That's completely normal. I mean, here we're not here to point the guys like, okay, Shimul, he did it. He always break the things. Or maybe Mariam Apu, I mean, she always breaks the things. No, that's not the way we work here. I mean, maybe his code breaks the things most of the time. Maybe the reason is that he is the most productive guy. So that's why his code breaks lots of time. Maybe, but trust me, he doesn't break the stuffs. It's just an example. So, I mean, we try to fix the symptom, the systems, not the people. Because people will do mistakes. we always try to expose our weaknesses, not to cover them. Because if you do not accept your weaknesses, what will happen? It will become your pet. Your very obedient pet will be always with you. Do you want to nurture your weakness, or you want to be a strong people? Right? Strong, right? Obviously. But whenever we become very defensive, like we say that, no, it's not my things. Or maybe I didn't think about that thing, and we try to become defensive, comes with lots of logic things, stuffs. This is not going to solve the problem. We are here to fix the problem. We are not here to fix the people. Anyone can break the things. Bad thing can happen, but generally, a responsible engineer, or the guy who mentioned that ownership, who takes the ownership, he never tells that it wasn't my fault. He always tells that it happened due to my fault, but why it happened? Because maybe I implemented this thing, and the other part of the system, which I was not aware of, wasn't accepting this kind of input, and that's why it broke. And here we actually try to generate some kind of knowledge from here, and that's very valuable, because whenever we fall into some trap, we learn some experience, and when we try to dissipate this information, it creates knowledge. Here, for the next 6 months or something like that, people will actually try to tell you various pitfalls experience that they have encountered. That's what is all about this training is. And another thing is that you'll be given extreme pressure, because our expectation is too high. And it might happen that you may think in this way that, okay, for this particular week, I have to solve A, B, and C task. Let's think only about those things. My suggestion would be, yes, we totally can understand that you are in extreme pressure, but this is an opportunity for you guys and for us as well. Because I'm not sure that whether you have got this kind of opportunity before in your life or not. You are hired for the first 6 months only to educate yourself. And you will get paid for that, for nothing else. Trust me, you will never get this kind of experience in your future. No one will tell you that, okay, I'll hire you, you just learn these stuffs and go home. No expectation attached. So, whatever the pressure that you will encounter, my suggestion would be, don't think about only the task, rather the whole life cycle. Why this task is given to you. Why on earth, at the end of the night or the beginning of the morning, maybe at the 4 a.m. in the morning, you are struggling with some kind of maybe some component in React, and you completely detest front-end or hate front-end development, but stuck with some bug, and you are questioning your life, your career, and yourself, what the hell you are doing. But remember, that pain point is actually reshaping you. It's going to reshape you. It depends on how you are planning to adopt on those kind of situation. Because after 5 or 6 weeks, there will be Eid. Afterwards, you're coming back. Then there will be another Eid. There will be weekends. You will see that people here playing TTs. They are gossiping. They are actually chilling out. And you guys do not have the time to take, if you're a smoker, smoke a stick of cigarette as well. That will happen. And last but not the least is the thing that probably is not going to be taught that much frequently, but that's part of the, one of the core agenda of our training is to like build your soft skills. Why? Because that's something that AI is not going to like train themselves. They're not going to be empathetic. They're not going to give us any kind of judgment or leadership abilities. So how you will actually nurture these stuffs? Soft skills is basically so soft that you cannot actually touch it. You cannot actually put it in some kind of certifications. Even if you got some kind of certifications on soft skills, that doesn't warrant that you are skilled on that. Some few tips. If you can explain complex ideas easily, that means you're able to connect with the people in the room or perhaps in the virtual meetings. If you can push back ideas respectfully. What is pushback? The example that I gave you earlier, like you got a requirement, like you have to build A, B, and C using some stuffs or something in the code, and you find out that you have better idea in yourself. You have two concepts, like you can say that bullshit. I don't care. What you're telling is completely bullshit. My idea is my way is the highway, not your way. That's one approach. Another one is that to convince the people, right? If you can convince the people, if you can connect the people, again, it's all about connecting the people, to connect with the human beings. And most important thing is that align yourself. As an engineer, we always think that we don't need to be aligned with the business. What is business and what is engineering? Can you tell me?
Business is focusing on customers. On sales and marketing.
Yeah, who does sales and marketing? They're from the people from the commerce and arts and commerce who doesn't get science because they are bad students in their schools.
No, it's very, business is actually more important in engineering because that's what's earning the revenue.
Yes, money matters, man. So who is actually earning the money? It's the business. Even if you have a fantastic ideas, people, you'll heard that I don't have investor. Who are investors? Graduated from what? Who are they? Graduated from MIT, Harvard? Yes, of course, Harvard has some business graduates, but I'm telling you about those engineering marvels. So it's all about the money. So whatever things we are actually implementing, suppose, what is engineering? One definition is that give the optimal solution using optimal cost. Suppose nowadays everything is in the cloud. In the cloud, what is expensive? Is the processing power, is the GPU, is the CPU, and other stuffs. If your solutions takes hell lots of GPU power, hell lots of CPU power, that means you're creating a very expensive solution to make the business bankrupt. That's one way of living. And another one is that do some engineering marvel so that you use the less CPU, GPU, and other stuffs. That's what you have been taught in your university. But we thought that, okay, who cares about that? I forgot the course name, but there's something called system architecture or design, or maybe in some course we have been taught this processor and other stuff. In which course it's important? Computer architecture, I forgot. Yeah. So why we have been taught those things? Like those registers and other stuffs. We have studied those, we forgot those. But our good engineers always recall. In the university, you have been given lots of map. Map means you know that to learn or investigate these stuffs, you have to go on that chapter, on that book, or that subject. The university never warrants that you memorize everything. Everything is in your head. Because maybe, I mean, you'll see that there are lots of engineers who are working in some products that doesn't need this kind of optimization. And 90% people are doing on these things. Maybe 10% times, you will encounter some situation where you need to optimize your code for your processor, maybe for your hard disk operations, like I/O operations, always expensive. Whenever you're writing things in your hard disk, whether it's a HDD or something like that, it's always expensive. Like RAM is always faster, right? And costly. It does some things. So, there are some reasons, right? So that this becomes like costly. So think about those stuffs. And the last point is that try to be that engineer that people want during the crisis. What does it mean? Like if something breaks, I need him. I always need him. If something is like unknown or people confused, there's only a go-to guy. You will always find. Maybe not in engineering, maybe in a friend circle, there's always someone who knows everything, right? Who can always guide you for everything. So try to be that person in the room. Because, I'm not sure how long you'll stay here, because you're not here, you didn't join here by signing a bond like for the rest 50 years you'll be working here and then you'll go somewhere else, right? So this might be for some of you, this is your first job. For some of you, this is your second or third job. And you'll be hopping around jobs as well. But wherever you go, be the person in the room, the go-to guy. কি করা লাগবে? To be the go-to guy?
Leadership.
Leadership? Why? কি করা লাগবে? Leadership. Like the leaders that who are actually participating for the votes.
No.
You'll have a bus, bulletproof bus.
Leadership as in he can guide others and...
No, not necessarily. You don't have to be senior. You don't have to be a leader to take that position. You need to know how the system works. You know everything. You have the curiosity. You have the passion. That if something breaks, you know how to solve it. It doesn't need to be. You doesn't need to be a leader or senior engineer or have to have like 10 years of experience. So generally, what actually happens, we tell that this product doesn't have any documentation. This product doesn't have any the old guys left, so no one knows how it works. The code is always there. And we are here to we're the guys who can actually understand, but within the code, that how the product works, what are the integrations. Something we actually do not invest our time into that. The guys, the people who actually read the code like storybooks will excel. And nowadays it's very easy because if the AI has the access to your repository, if you can consult with your AI agent, tell me how it's working. How does it work? Because previously, back in our time, maybe 10 years back, we used to have read the code. Sometimes we encounter some kind of codes that we never worked in our life. Like for my personally, I was investigating some issues related with compressing raw images. And in my life, I never seen a raw image that is 10 GB size. when I encountered that size of image, I had to tweak one of the libraries that is written in C++. I worked C++ back in my university, never worked in professionally. But that C++ probably was written by some Martian or maybe someone alien, because that syntax is completely unknown. I mean, I'm reading those things and I'm thinking that probably there are some issues with my graphics card because I'm seeing some kind of syntax. It's probably, it's not syntax, it's some kind of like issues with my screen. But then I found that, okay, that's some syntax in C++ that I never encountered. So I had to learn that syntax, how that works, what is the hat, and what are the other stuffs. There's some other, I forgot actually. I mean, that 3 months was a traumatic time of my life because I was not able to sleep, because when I was sleeping, I was seeing those syntax in my dream because those were so unknown. And then after doing lots of trial and error and other stuff, I tried to solve those things. But nowadays, I'm pretty sure if I asked AI that how does it work, how does it relate, I mean, I know maybe pointer, maybe is it related with the pointer or what is these things. So perhaps the life would have been much better. So you guys are fortunate and unfortunate at the same time. Fortunate because you will be thriving at the time of AI, and unfortunate is that during this thrivingness, if you start to worship AI, you'll be doomed. Got it? So, end of the day, what is the expectation from craftsmen is that we do not expect perfection, because things will happen, mistake will happen, but we expect ownership. We do not expect brilliance every day. It's not possible to shine every day. It's not possible to come up with new solutions like jaw-dropping things every day. But we expect honesty and growth. It may happen that you have been given, I mean, the same task will be given to all of you, and you may copy other tasks, other people's tasks, like we used to do, university or other things. Mind it, I mean, you will not get any kind of CGPA or any kind of certifications that will help you there. If you cannot survive, if you cannot perform, I mean, here we have trained people who will actually train you on this, and there's no way to escape from their eyes, no way. So we expect honesty and growth, and also we do not expect that you will beat AI. Rather, we'll expect that you will outthink, out-communicate, and outlead the AI. Okay, because AI is the present. AI will be with us forever. Unless there's a huge power crisis or maybe something happen, like pole shift or something like that happens, it will be with us for the rest of life. So now, it's your responsibility to earn your place, not for once, every day. Thank you.